Good everyone, welcome to this video, and today it's a review on the I-153P. Once again, another premium Chica. I mean, what would you rather have? A premium B25? Because, well, I'm not buying one of those anytime soon. So the premium Chica, the I-153P, well, one of the two premium Chicas I should say, is a rank 2 battle rating 2.7 biplane. Now, this aircraft is actually rather fun, however the guns are very temperamental, and this thing's rather fragile. A lot of people tend to use this vehicle in the ground attack role in ARB. This is not advised, and I repeat, not advised. This aircraft has a very vulnerable airframe, the engine is highly vulnerable to damage, and the wings are very easy to snap off of overpowered AAA. This aircraft does better as a support aircraft. Obviously, being at 2.7, you're going to meet some rather dangerous competition. And this aircraft costs quite a bit of GE, being 950 Golden Eagles. And personally, if you're looking for a ground attacker, I would arguably say the Hurricane 2B would do you better for Russia. Now, you do get two less rockets, but you do get the same Shavak cannons, and you actually get decent belts in those Shavak cannons, and you also get MGs to back you up. And with it being a Hurricane, it can take a pounding if it has to. The I-153P, whilst it has its quirks, is just not suitable for what most players would consider it to be used as. Now, obviously, we only get two cannons, and with just 300 rounds between the two and a high fire rate of I believe it's 800 rounds a minute, that's going to go very quickly. So just be aware. Do I think it's worth 950 Eagles? No. I think this thing would be better at a discount. If you get a 30% off, consider it. If you get a 75% off, go for it. If you get a 50% off, again, consider it. And it pains me to say it because this aircraft is really good. But it's just the fact that a lot of the competition it's going to fight is going to be faster, they're going to have more armor than you, they're going to have more endurance, and they can take a lot more punishment than your aircraft can. So let's go into the weaponry. So we get access to either nothing, 4 50-kilogram bombs, 8 RS-82 rockets, or 8 RBS-82 rockets, which I nicknamed the Russian bias rockets. Here if it calls it the Russian bias salvo, obviously RBS, Russian bias salvo. I call it the Russian bias rockets. Call them however you will. Those are fine. It's the belts on the 20 mils. These used to be normal 20mm Shavaks. You had API, you had FIT, you had HE. These belts are not that great at all. The default belts are half and half of Tracer and HEF. Not great. Tracers. 3/4 of the belt are tracers. Don't even bother. Stealth. Don't. I would personally recommend air targets. Now, tracers might set more fires, however, the air target seems to do better for pilot snipe for some weird reason, even though it's only got 10 mils a pen. But to be honest, with the limited ammo, you need all the help you can get, so I'd recommend this. Does that mean this aircraft's bad? No. I just don't recommend it to someone who is looking for a premium at this BR. And like I say, even though I've had good results in the play, and obviously 2 deaths, 19 air kills, and 44 ground targets with 6 ships, it's just a very temperamental aircraft. But we do get a nice guest appearance today, and I've promised to not refer fully to his performance in this battle. He knows who he is. Let's just say that. Now, those who don't may remember the LA-5F flight in the Talisman series. You may remember Mozas 70. Now, he doesn't have the world's greatest performance in this game, however, I think he was shown a bit of leg, or he'd put on some IKEA meatballs onto his aircraft. Now, why am I making these sorts of references? Good reason. Moses is going to have a very bad day at the office. He was grinding the camouflage for the IL-2 1942. I don't know if his is spaded, don't know if it is, but I'm sure he'll clarify. It probably is spaded and he's just working on the skins for it. So Moses spawns in with no ground attack ordnance, no rockets, no bombs, just the guns and the machine guns. Well, the cannons and the machine guns. Obviously, this is a 1942 variant, so you do get the 23mm. However, I'm just going to jump us ahead. I think he was showing either a bit of leg, which is a Derp Angel joke between me and Derp Angel, or alternatively, he'd strapped some IKEA meatballs. Now, there was this team mostly spoke in Russian, and Moses threw it in. Is that Norwegian? I don't know. I don't know languages that very well, so if I got that wrong, mate, I do apologise. But at this point, Moses is going in for an attack run. Obviously, he needs ground targets for his points, and well, not really points, because well, his aircraft is, I believe, spaded. He needs ground targets for the actual skin, and he's only going to get a couple. For good fucking reason. Moses, you need to stop wearing shorts, pal. Because look at that. You've showed too much leg, mate. I'm sorry, but you've been showing too much leg. I mean, you've attracted a quarter of the freaking Swedish Air Force. Unfortunately, Mr. Moses is going to get completely shreked. As you can see, the Swedish planes tore him apart, and this is where, obviously, I was watching the whole time, and I was thinking, well, Moses, you should stop showing leg at the time, and obviously, I told him that on Discord, and he loved it. Obviously, he didn't have the greatest of games, but everyone has their bad games, so... But, I'm sorry, that had to be made a joke. I don't care what anyone says, that had to be made a joke. You were showing some leg, mate. Honestly, you need to stop with the shorts, because I know you was secretly... One hand was under the desk, slipping up your leg to try and get some attention, but I think you brought a bit too much attention, if you get what I'm saying. If you don't know about the showing leg joke, do go and ask Derp Angel about it. He will tell you about the joke. So at this point, I used the biplane's maneuverability and dropped in on the arse of this J-21. Newsflash, he can't shake me, and I just blew his elevator off. Kill number 1. Now, I was telling Moses during this battle, like, on Discord, I don't know how I lived through this game, and you're going to see why I think that. Now, those eagle-eyed viewers will say, oh, there was a death on the actual scorecard at the end. What happened? Landing failure. That is not a joke. I suck at landing this aircraft. This aircraft has the definition of strong brakes, and obviously with it being a biplane, you'll be standing up on your prop, or you'll be hanging upside down or you'll be basically parked like an Australian if you press the brakes too hard. You're gonna have to dab the brakes. And obviously, when there's AAA shooting at you, it's not helpful. Now, for some reason, this Spitfire decided to choose me out of all the targets. I would personally have gone for something different, not a Chica, but quite clear this guy was a bit desperate. And it's just really weird what kept going on in this game. And obviously, I'm going to survive a lot, which I shouldn't. Hurricane there fired off a couple of rockets to obviously try and airburst the Spitfire. But it isn't going to work. Obviously, I spotted that Spitfire coming in for a dive there. The Hurricane breaks off, and I'm soon to turn inside of the Spitfire to obviously avoid his guns. Because, well, at least that was the plan until he ripped his wings off. So, there's a funny moment for you. Call sign Crossroad. I think you might have changed to your name to call sign, I snapped my wings off. Great job. At this point, this J-21 looks hungry, shall we say. Now, I know some people would call that a waste of a pair of rockets, but I needed to save ammo, so I'm sort of glad I didn't use my guns on them. So I still have 6 rockets underneath anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But you're going to see just how much shit I get up to in this game. Obviously, I'm being shot at by the AAA again. The light AAA. And the Hurricane's been damaged. And, well, we just lost our BS-180 to a engine failure. Obviously, I'm keeping an eye on that Spitfire up there. And I'm trying to make sure this team at least somewhat survives. Now, this game does go on for 24 minutes. However, don't worry. It's not on for that long. I'm not going to be showing too much of the battle. And at this point, this Corsair, you're going to see this little bastard later. This Corsair had a huge boner for me, it felt like. J-21 starts turning aside there, and he's soon to hit the dirt in just a second. Or does he? No, he actually managed to pull out of that. That's rather surprising. Clearly the Swedish must like pulling out of things. And at this point, I thought if I go for a shot with the 20 mils, I'll at least get something. And then, of course, the Corsair came at me. And I would prefer to knock the Corsair out of the sky, if I was to say anything. But look at my airspeed. My airspeed's dwindling. I do score some hits, but most of them are sparks. And this is the problem with the HE rounds. And I was just getting so frustrated, I barely even noticed the J-21 as he came at me. But luckily I did, otherwise he'd have torn me a new one. But being a biplane, you're still going to outmaneuver most of the competition that you're going to see. At this point, I tried to hit him with the rockets, but I missed by a country mile. But I managed to nail the J-21. Spitfire comes in, pours some shots into my wing. And I'm thinking, right, you little shit, come here. And well, even though these 20mm cannons may not have the best punch, they're great at pilot sniping. 3rd kill. Well, obviously, I ain't got much ammo left. And the only remaining teammates are a DB3 and a Yak-9. So I'm thinking, right, I've had enough of your shit, Corsair. Let's see what I can do about it. But obviously, he has much higher speed. Unbeknownst to this guy, the Yak decided to join the party, so the Corsair is now on fire, he's going down, he's trying to turn to get additional shots into me, but that's really it for him. And well, that's really all I'm going to show for this battle, because the rest of it is just me rocketing ground targets to get the win. But yeah, the I-153P is a very questionable aircraft. I would personally not recommend it for a new player, that is for definite. An experienced player, maybe, but consider it, is all I'll say. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's video on the I-153P, and I'll see you all on the next one.